What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again for another video wearing my Christmas pyjamas. It's only like January the 30th or whatever it is. So let's talk about Everton today. Finally announced that Sean Dyche will be the Everton manager for the next 2.5 years if he doesn't get sacked. Typical Everton. He comes into the team and the club knowing that work needs to be done. He's came in with his eyes wide open, I would argue. He's came in with, I think, the right attitude. But there's lots of things that need to be worked on and need to be done. You know, he came out and he's basically said that the players need to show hard work, a bit of passion, play for the badge, all the right things. He says all the right things. But this group of players have got to do that, and they've got to follow that, and they've got to, you know, step into his ideology. I think they will as a whole. I don't think this group of players want to be letdowns. I think there's enough character in that team to show something. They've just maybe not necessarily had the right manager for it, or, you know, haven't maybe known how to show it, maybe been playing in weird positions, maybe, you know, have not known their job. Whereas what you're going to get with Dyche is you're going to get possibly 4-4-2, everyone knowing their role, everyone running for the club. And we saw it today. You know, he does the training session and there's about 16 photos of different players on their knees, people being sick, people just being really put through their paces. And, you know, this team isn't fit enough. It's abundantly obvious that they don't run enough. There's gaps in the holes in midfield. And I'm hoping that he puts a lot of work into the fitness of these players, because it might not show the rewards against Arsenal and against Liverpool, but you need it to against your Leeds and your Aston Villas at home. You know, these are games that, you know, Everton have got to do well, and we do need a new manager bounce. It would be great to get a point at home to Arsenal. Sounds silly, maybe, but it'd be good to take some of that enthusiasm. And to be honest, in my mind, that enthusiasm almost carried on today, because Everton put a £40 million bid on the table, or at least had discussions for Conor Gallagher at Chelsea. Now, this is a player who I've rated very, very highly, and I don't think necessarily fits Chelsea, but I certainly think he would fit Everton. He has got everything, can pass, firm in a tackle, can score goals, can do everything, but he's you know, he made it abundantly obvious very quickly that he doesn't want to come and play for Everton, so that scratches that one. But I said in a video with Millsy recently, it was a long video, so you probably missed a bit, but like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if you see a player like Tom Davies playing, somebody who can just keep the ball. He's always sort of had that sort of player in his team. You know, he had Stephen Delfour, Jack Cork, these players that aren't superstars, aren't necessarily big name players, but he managed to mould them into just keeping the ball, being a little bit calmer, taking the sting out of the game. Because one thing that Everton do, unfortunately, is it is headless chicken at times. It's up and it's down, and there's no composure in the middle of the park. And it's something Everton lack, and it's something Everton need to address, in my opinion. So this is what I've done in this video. We've got essentially 25 hours at this point to start doing deals. We've been linked with Soleimani, the Ren midfielder, I think it is, the winger, pacey, quick. From what I've seen of him, he looks very raw, and he's not necessarily the most skillful either. But he does glide past people with pace. He's not scared to cross the ball. He's also not scared to shoot. My issue is with players like this, it's proven quality. I've got no doubt that these players are good footballers. They're professional footballers for a reason. But that doesn't mean they're going to stand up to the vigours of the Premier League, and it certainly doesn't mean that they're going to be able to keep this team in the Premier League. So that's my worry. We've been linked with a striker, I think his name's Becker, plays for Union Berlin. He doesn't have a great record. You know, people were saying if you could get him for 6, 7, 8 million pound, it would be a good buy. But again, you're trusting, you're relying on players that the quality's suspect. at keeping you in the Premier League. And this is the worry. The fundamental worry is we're not improving on what we potentially have got. Demarai Gray, with the right people around him, I think he's a very good midfielder, and it wouldn't surprise me if Dyche utilises that, puts an arm around him, he gets the best out of him. You know, you have got wingers in that team that Dyche knows. McNeil, Iwobi was an orthodox winger in his past. You've also got players like Andros Townsend, who, you know, again, I joked about, but he is a winger that literally just puts the ball in the box. And if you're going to play 4-4-2, that's all you need. You don't necessarily need goals from your wingers. You need your wingers setting up opportunities for your strikers. If he plays 4-4-2, Anana starts, I don't know about Ghana. And it could be really interesting about what happens to the other Ghana, because, you know, he's a very neat and tidy footballer. You know, some people have pretty much forgot that we've even signed him, but he's a very good footballer. But the problem we have is this team just, they're mishmashed of different managers' players still to this day. You know, there is players in there that were signed under Lampard, under Marco Silva, even Koeman. You know, we're spanning 8 managers and 7 different ideologies and a couple of caretakers, etc. So Sean Dyche has got to come in. He's got to get this team playing in his way very quickly and keep them in the Premier League while adding, in my opinion, some real quality. And while this transfer window just peters out, I'm very worried that quality isn't there. Because, you know, players like Dan Juma, who no doubt have got quality, he chose another club. Conor Gallagher is more interested in playing for a club in Europe or aiming for Europe. You know, chances are he probably ends up at somewhere like Newcastle. The only player that, and some Spurs fans will disagree with this, and I'm sure there'll be many of others, the only player that I could possibly see coming back on a 6-month loan is Richarlison. Because they've got Dan Juma, Richarlison, Son, Kane, Kulinevsky. I don't understand why they need those 5 players for 3 positions or 2 positions. So, I don't know, maybe I could see that. But it's really difficult. I think you may find the Coventry City striker coming tomorrow. Gorkarez or Gorkarez or Gorkarez. But I think you might see him tomorrow. It won't be 15, 16 million. I think it'll be more like 10. Coventry are desperately in need of money, so it doesn't make sense to overpay when they're desperate for the cash. Yeah, in my opinion, Everton need 4 or 5 players. You know, we needed 2 or 3 players before Anthony Gordon left. So it makes no difference if Everton bring in my opinion, any less than 4 good players. It's a failure. This window's a failure, and you're leaving us completely exposed in positions that we need. You know, we possibly need a new left back, not even been considered. We probably need another winger, not even being considered potentially. You know, we need a midfielder who can keep the ball, and that has been considered, but we're leaving it very late to get one. And you need a striker who can put the ball in there. There's 4 players at least. So, yeah, I think it has to be a busy day from Everton. Some people are saying it'll be 1 signing. Some are saying it'll be 2 or 3. As I say, I think you need 4 players. And if you don't get that, then yeah, I am worried about the season. And like I always do, if the window doesn't go to, you know, plan, I'll tell you, and I'll give you my honest opinion. And if I think we've strengthened enough, great. If I think we haven't, great. I was buzzing when I heard the news about potentially Gallagher for that 20 short minutes where he apparently was in talks, and then it was like, no, I ain't playing for him. I was really happy because I thought that he would be the perfect player to add into that side, and he would, because he has got everything. I'm worried about the rest. So we'll see. Guys, look, I'm leaving it there. It's going to be an interesting deadline day. Let's just say that. Keep smiling. Up the toffees.